The Perfect Day, a Personal Story. My name is Christos Sofianopoulos, and I'm a subconscious coach, and I wanted to share how I arrived at this moment. It's been such a magical journey for me. So my mom grew up in Brazil, her parents were from Ukraine, and they came to this country about in her teens, I think it was like 14. And my dad lived in family for Greece, came over for college, my parents met, and that's where I came from. So I'm first generation American, and it's been such a blessing to grow up in this country. My mom became a linguist, and my dad became a chemical engineer, and so grew up these really, really core values to me: hard work, resourcefulness, because both my parents came from humble beginnings, so they imparted that on me. Be frugal and save your money and go to college and get good grades, which is the path that I took. Went to school, got good grades, ended up getting a really nice job, which was fantastic for paying the bills and living a comfortable life. But I got to this point where I was just like, something's missing in my life, and I could never quite put my finger on it. And although education is amazing, college is amazing, it didn't give me what I needed, and it took me a long time to get there. And that's when I kind of discovered the personal development industry. I started reading a lot, Napoleon Hill, all the big names, and that really gave me this passion for personal growth. And then I started becoming much happier and much more involved in my own personal success. And that's when I started branching out outside my job, into other areas of where I could make money and things like that. But then I started kind of like, there was an itch that wasn't really being fulfilled. So I was at this conference, and there's this guy up on stage speaking to the whole crowd, and I'm watching the crowd, and they're just in this magical state, this transformational state. And everybody was having these growth experiences, and I'm like, that's it. Like, that's like the intersection between being able to be fulfilled, to do something of service, helping other people, and an income. I was like, this is like the perfect intersection of all the little things. This is what I've been missing my entire life, because I've always been being the person people came to express their feelings and ask for help and things like that. I'm like, this is kind of like a natural fit. It's just perfect. And then that's where the subconscious coaching for me was born, because I just love helping people so much, and that act of service brings me so much fulfillment. And knowing that I can go out there and help somebody through their issues is just such a magical thing for me. So he became my distant mentor for a while, and then he became my personal mentor. 600 hours of class time, one-on-one sessions later, to become the coach that I am today. And as I practice and as I learn more, my skills just get deeper and deeper. And this is where my life hit a curveball, right? This is where I met my beautiful wife. She already had 3 kids. They were preteen teens at the time. And I had to this culture shock of, I go from single to, married and 3 kids and they're teens. And it's like, what do I do? It's like that journey was just amazing for me, because all these coaching skills that I was learning at the time just helped me so much for myself, because any parent would know raising kids is stressful, especially when you skip to the teenage years. And being able to help them through their struggles, and being able to watch them develop and be able to guide that. Not to mention my own personal relationships in the marriage, because marriage is not easy. I mean, you're living with somebody in close quarters. Things are bound to come up. And if you don't meet them with grace, they can go sideways. And as we see, the American divorce rate is 50+% in most cases, if not higher. And that's because we're not taught these skills of communication and how we can actually resolve things in a relationship where it's healthy. And that's where I started diving deeper into that area. There's nonviolent communication, all these tool sets that really help somebody manage and grow in all these scenarios. So subconscious coaching is all about helping somebody achieve their desires, their goal, faster and easier. Learning from somebody who's already been achieved that location can help you avoid all the pitfalls and just get there faster and cheaper. Because success is about 80% mindset, where your heart is and where your mind is, resourcefulness, versus the 20% of everything else, which is your resources, your knowledge, your skills, your money, your contacts, all that stuff. Because if you have the resourcefulness and you don't have the money, for example, you can go find it, you can go make it. If you don't have the skills, but you have resourcefulness, you can find somebody to teach you, find somewhere to learn from. That's why it's 80% mindset, 80% resourcefulness. But when we have that block or that internal resistance, it can really hold us back or even crush our dreams before we even start it. There's an old quote, the grave is the richest place in the world from all the unmet dreams. Because a lot of us get so locked up in the fears, in the being judged, that we never even start. And those who do start don't end up continuing because of something somebody said or their own internal struggles. And that's where like subconscious coaching just comes in even more, because if we can get to a place where you can overcome those things, imagine where your life would be. What is your perfect life? What does your perfect day look like? Why not live that every single day? It's totally possible with the right skills. And a block can be anything from fear or traumatic events, like a bad memory, for example, or a bad habit, let's say overeating or smoking or procrastination. Something like a negative belief, I'm not good enough, or maybe money is evil, and combined with the belief I'm good, you can't have both. Your subconscious must always find the positive. It must be true. Therefore, if you have a belief of money is evil and I'm good, so if I have money, I'm not good, therefore I can't have money. So when you meet a decision of get promoted or not promoted, if you're in the corporate world, or if you're in the entrepreneurial world, say a money cap, let's say $10,000 a month is like a magical number where it goes from money's okay to money's evil, you'll find ways to not overachieve that. So when we have those negative beliefs, it totally changes our outcomes. Or maybe an internal conflict. A great example is a health goal. Let's say somebody hands you a jelly donut and says, here, have this. And you say, oh, jelly donut, amazing, let me eat that. And you're like, oh, my goal is to lose weight and be healthy, so I can't eat the jelly donut, but it's tasty, but I need to lose weight. So it's like this like pull and tug back and forth, like what do I do? And part of that is not making a decision. A decision in the old original form is cutting off all avenues of any other possible option. You have one path forward, which then eliminates the willpower from the equation because it's just not an option. When we leave options out there, we cut off, or we don't cut off all the avenues, so we have to use willpower every time we need to make a decision. And that's why a lot of people have the conflict, because you have to weigh your choices, and then if you don't have enough willpower in that moment, say it's a stressful day or you didn't get enough sleep, you might make a bad choice. So all of these things can really prevent us from having the success that we want. And this is why it'd be such a privilege to work with you. I can't express the amount of amazing gratitude I get when I can see that smile on somebody's face of having achieved whatever it is they came to me to achieve. Because life is happening for us, not to us. And once we can really embody that, it's hard at first because it's so easy to say, oh, I failed because of something over there, versus I failed because of something in here. And it's rough because it's that personal responsibility aspect of taking control of your life and directing it where it needs to go. And, it's so important to master the science of achievement and the art of fulfillment. Because for all we know, this is one go. And if it's more than one go, based on your belief structures, even better. But in this life, let's get the max of it. Let's get the full fulfillment possible. So I'd love to work with you. If you want, drop a comment, send me a message. Otherwise, live the life you design, create the life you deserve, and be unshackled.